Hey everybody, it's PartyElite, and today we're finally diving into an early build of the upcoming colony management game, Whiskerwood. If you follow this channel, you'll have heard me talk about it before as one of my most anticipated of the year, and though at first glance it's easy to see an animal-based colony management game and think it looks like Timberborn but with different animals, you'll see very quickly today how the game sets itself apart in many, very interesting ways. If you like what you see today, don't hesitate to wishlist the game on Steam. As always, that's the best way to support indie developers in particular, especially because of how visibility works on the platform. Plus, it's an easy way to stay up to date with the game as it gets ready for release later this year, so I'll have a link to the store page in the description down below. Now, today's build is an early look at the game's demo, with quite a few of the buildings and features and production chains that are planned for release still inaccessible, but I think we'll get a nice overview of what Whiskerwood is going for. Before we begin though, I do want to mention that the game is published by Hooded Horse, and outside of the channel, I am affiliated with the publisher. While this isn't a sponsored video and they don't have any say on what I play on the channel, I do like to mention it every time I cover one of their games, just for the sake of transparency, and considering I'm affiliated with them primarily because I love the games they're publishing, it should be no surprise to see those games on the channel from time to time. Anyway, with no more time to waste on an introduction, let's begin. Now as we dive into a new game here, I think it's a good idea for me to give you a top-line overview of the general setting and story of the game so far, because I feel like a lot of its systems and mechanics and ideas will make immediate sense when you understand why we're doing what we're doing. Now, if you just want to watch gameplay, I'll have timestamps down below so you can skip on ahead, but it shouldn't take me too long to give you this quick rundown and to set up our upcoming game. So, Whiskerwood is a colony management game in which you're managing a literal colony. Your mice, the Whiskers, have been sent forth by their feline overlords, the Claws, to establish a colony in these far-off lands. They're meant to extract resources from these far-off lands and then return those resources to the cats so they can further strengthen their cat empire. This has a ton of impacts on how the game actually works and how and why you're pursuing what you're pursuing. So right off the bat, for example, there's a few scenarios. Right now we only have access to the one, but when the game actually releases, there'll be a couple more, including this one called Monarch Loyalists. If we turn our attention back to our starting crew for the colony and roll the dice perhaps a couple times here, you'll see that from time to time, you'll get some of your Whiskers that have this monarchist trait. This means they're naturally loyal to the Claws. That means they are easier to keep happy because they're here on a mission and they're quite proud of what they're doing. So they're easier to keep happy. They're also cheaper to acquire. As you try to grow your colony, you can get monarchist Whiskers more cheaply because, yeah, the Claws are happy to send you more loyalists. Obviously, there are other traits as well that have various other impacts, but monarchist is obviously the relevant one here. Apart from all this, you can see this setting, Claws Greed. This is a reflection of exactly what the Claws expect from this colony. Are they kind, fair, or are they downright oppressive? This will impact the level of resource acquisition they're expecting from your colony, and it will fundamentally change how you approach things and how you optimize things. Will you even have time to ensure the well-being of your Whiskers, or are you going to be spending basically 24/7 ensuring the factory is growing and you're able to actually supply all of these resources that are being demanded of you? And things go beyond just this relationship. This is the era of piracy, for example, so you will have to deal with pirates. As your islands industrialize, as your colony industrializes, you're going to have to deal with pollution. So there's a lot of interesting stuff going on related to this historical time period, so to speak, and this allegory that we've got set up. And you'll see very quickly again how this impacts the flow of the game and how it impacts the gameplay loop and things like that. But with all that said and done, let's go ahead and actually set up our colony. I'm going to go ahead and I think just stick with the default difficulty preset here and the default settings. I wish we could see some of the larger map sizes. They get absolutely massive, but that'll all be ready for when the game actually releases later this year. But yeah, we're gonna stick to the default settings over here just to give a baseline overview and feel of what the game is like. And let's go ahead and call this. New Home is a pretty good name for a new home, but I'm gonna go ahead and say Pauseville. Actually, it's a colony, right? So New Pauseville, because presumably the old world already has a Pauseville. So New Pauseville it shall be, and let's go ahead and roll the dice a bit on the starting crew to make sure we're actually happy with, where we end up. All right, it just took a couple of rerolls to end up with something that I'm actually quite happy with. We've got a bunch of girl mice and just the one boy mouse, though that's kind of funny. His name's Squee, too. I think I think he's just excited to be here. But let's go over some of these traits so you have a sense of how varied some of these whiskers can actually be. Niblet over here has strong shoulders and is healthy. So strong shoulders means +2 to carry capacity, and healthy means a bit more resistant to illness and injury. Yes, your mice will get sick and they will die if you don't take care of them properly. Squee over here is swift, +25 move speed, and has a warm core, so extra resistant to cold temperatures. When fall and winter comes through, this is going to be extremely helpful. Bramble can't smell, so no negative thoughts from pollution, and also has a warm core. Blaze here has our one negative trait to start with, annoys other whiskers sleeping in the same home. The early housing is single occupancy, so that should be fine, but larger houses will have shared occupancy or multiple occupancy, and so that could be a bit of a problem. And otherwise, Shadow, last over here, is our optimist, chance to double the effect of positive thoughts, and you'll see what that means as we get started. To the side over here, we have other kind of attributes: move speed, work speed, carry capacity, and then finally, the guild to which the whisker belongs. So there's the Engineers Guild, there's the Farmers Guild, there's the Explorers Guild, there's the Miners Guild, and, well, once more, the Engineers Guild. So when you're assigning jobs and roles and all that kind of stuff, you want to keep in mind who has what guild affiliation, because it does have a direct impact on their efficiency and their proficiency. And the game does automatically assign the best person for the task, so there's that. But just wanted to highlight some of these details so you could see what we're working with. Apart from that, we've got these starting resources coming with us that should allow us to establish a good initial base of operations. And with that said, let's embark. I absolutely love the music. How epic is that opening? I absolutely love it. Now, what do we have here? Dear Acting Tale, safe travels to all under the crown. Royal Scout ships identify your assigned archipelago as a potential colony as part of the Royal Scouting Commission of 1681. 72 such colonies have successfully been established as a result of those brave Claw's efforts. By the King's graceful guidance, yours could be the 73rd such colony. Your most important building will be the trade dock. Without it, your colony cannot repay its debts. Therefore, I implore you to choose an island and construct your dock. Look for ample trees and berry bushes nearby. Under the King's graceful rule, Duke Micalico, Royal Commissioner. Micalico is an excellent name for a Duke cat. Oh my goodness, it's an excellent name. You'll see immediately, by the way, how it's talking about repaying debts, and that's gonna be fun as we go on. So this, just as a reminder, is one of the smaller map sizes. And even still, you can see the distances we have here. I'm going to use the trade dock as an example of the size of a building, so you can get a sense of the scale of this map, even in its smaller size. But let's get to work. Let's not dally too much over here. Let's find a spot that has some berry bushes and some trees for us to establish this dock around. This looks like an okay spot. The thing is that we also want to ensure there are ample sort of tax-worthy resources, let's call them for now. For example, copper ore is something we can mine and send to the cats for a high-value resource, basically. So the island looks okay. There's some good spots over there. This one does not have a lot of trees and looks fairly barren and infertile, so we might expand to this later. I'll set that aside. This one looks pretty good, actually. We've got trees. We've got berry bushes over here. Looks like it could be decently fertile as well. Some potash. What else we got here? Iron ore. You know what? On the surface, this doesn't look that great. Now, there could be a lot within this mountain over here that we can't see right now. But I don't want to take the chance. We might just want to stick with this island over here. Berry bushes, some copper ore, some trees way up top over there. We'll be able to build stairs right off the bat, and that should be fine. There's also this spot over here. There's a bit of copper. There could be more. There could be some veins over here, so this could be okay. Things are a lot more closely packed, which I like, but oh god, that's such a risk. If we're unable to pay our dues, they will revoke our charter, and it's game over, man, if that happens. Oh man, you know what? Sorry, I don't mean to dally, but this is an important decision. Let's take a chance and pop it down over here, and just hope that there's more copper somewhere down over here. There's also flax up over here, which we can use as a good. like a good tax-worthy good, I guess, but copper would be much nicer. All right, trade dock down over here, I think. Now the question is, where exactly do I pop this thing down? Maybe a little off to the side, like over here. And then we can centralize our kind of storage and mining and forestry industries. And then when we want to expand this way to get more copper, we can. Yeah, okay, this sounds good to me. Let's go ahead and pop the stock down over here, right on the corner. And this should be our ship of whiskers. Yeah, receive your whiskers at the dock once their ship arrives. So that's just our starting crew as determined, and you'll see here, there's a population tax. Fair enough. Let's bring these whiskers ashore. Like, I thought I was being sent here at your behest, and now you're taxing me for it? Fair enough. Dear Acting Tail, warehouses are vital to preserving the market value of your tax contributions. Each warehouse has a limited capacity. Watch that you do not saturate your warehouse's capacity on worthless goods. Focus on storing resources that will benefit the kingdom. Logs, cotton, and ores. Those goods will keep during long voyages and supply work for whiskers in the royal factories. To reduce carry distances, you should construct the included central warehouse schematic near your trade dock. Once more from Duke Micalico. So here's our central warehouse. I just want to make a quick note that you'll see in the tooltip here, resource conveyors. Yes, conveyor belts are absolutely a thing in this game. So when you have your logistics network set up, you'll be able to, for example, build conveyor belts and other such mechanisms to bring goods from one end of the island to the other if necessary. This early build of the game doesn't have all that functionality in it, but it will be in the game when it releases. So very excited to see how far we can actually push our colony without some of those, automation features. But it is cool to know that those kinds of things are coming. Now, I know they say to build the warehouse close to the trade dock, but we also need to build it in a position that keeps it close to the resources that we're gathering, because resources will be deposited at the warehouse, and then when the ships come through, they get transported to the dock as needed. So I'm thinking if we pop this down like over here, we'll need to put down some planks to make this actually accessible, but that's not the end of the world. We've got bushes or wood, everything's around us. Yeah, that should be fine. Let's pop you down over here, sure. Oh, you know what? It's not reachable for construction itself. Fair enough. So I'll have to build it. Let's pop you down over there, because I need to have access to the entrance to actually build it up. I cannot yet place down any pathways or anything like that, not until we receive our initial shipment of goods that we saw on the game setup screen as well. But let's speed time up a little bit over here. And right now, during these initial setup moments, time doesn't matter all that much. But once we are established, time is of the essence, because during the day is when all the work happens. And at night, unless you have certain buildings and factories set to work overnight, at night the whiskers must rest. They eat, they bathe, they take care of their needs and go to bed to wake up the next day and rinse and repeat. Well, hopefully they did the rinsing when they were bathing, but you know what I mean. So yeah, right now time, we can triple speed it and everything's fine, but when we're actually established, we have to actually be wary of how much time is left in the day to get stuff done. But yes, the supply shipment has arrived. Let's go ahead and unload our supply of logs, hardtack, machinery, and woven cloaks. These all have value for different purposes. Machinery is used for construction, for example. Woven cloaks because your whiskers will want clothes. Logs for construction. Hardtack is food. You'll see that it actually improves approval rating, that's the thumbs up, and productivity. But separately, if we look at the logs in particular, you'll see that handshake icon. That is the tax value of this particular good. And so as we unload supplies, maybe we'll take a look at that a bit further. So our colony is established, New Pawsville, and immediately we're hit with debts owed. We've got an admin tax, a population tax, a whisker ship travel costs, starting supplies, all stuff we have to pay for. And you'll see here that there are specific resources that are accepted as payment. And they're all resources that, again, will keep on long voyages and will, be used back in the kingdom, I suppose. And each has a different value in terms of paying off these debts. So you'll see, copper ore quite high compared to, for example, berries or fish. But let's go ahead and read this letter. Dear Acting Tail, congratulations to you and your fellow colonists. Under commission of the king, it is my privilege to offer this colony charter. You embark on a mission worthy of the greatest of whiskers, and all of your kind shall thank you for your efforts. As you tame these wild lands and earn the payment for your taxes, you're doing more than any whisker before you. With your sweat, you secure the means by which some industrious whiskers might enjoy safety. Serve your king faithfully, and his peace will reign over these islands. Let's go ahead and sign the charter, not like we have much choice. And now we owe 62 in tax. Unfortunately, we have 377 with us right now, but most of that comes in the form of logs, which we'd actually want to use for construction and all. So let's start making some progress right off the bat, I think, to make sure we're able to pay off these initial debts. 377 is what we have. 62 is how much we owe. Okay, sorry, I saw that number and I was like, we owe what? We'll get there soon, though. The cats, they've got no chill. Let's go ahead and, right off the bat here, make some makeshift paths so we actually have access to these parts over here, and I'll give the game a moment to assign us our next quest. I have, as you might be able to tell, played a little bit of the game already, so I'm familiar with some of the mechanics and systems and things like that, and I will highlight some of these little details as they come up and become relevant, but otherwise I will also wait for the game to kind of drive us a bit, just so you can see what it's like. Underground riches. Dear Acting Tail, paying taxes to the crown is your primary responsibility. Most colonies pay their taxes with ores. Copper pays best, but coal is more plentiful. Desperate colonies will ship out their construction logs. You would be wise to choose the path of non-desperation. Build and fully assign 2 workers to at least 1 mining camp. So we'll go ahead and accept the quest, and let's leave time going as we establish mining camps. I'm thinking we build not just 1 but 2, because this is the foundation upon which our colony will be built. So let's get 1 over here and 1 over here. And what we'll do is we'll immediately build. You'll see how slow they are off the makeshift paths. So we'll build these paths out as far as we can right off the bat. No, don't want to build them on rooftops. Thank you. Verticality is a big part of the game. Vertical construction, building bridges, and I mean that's how we'll be able to reach some of these other islands. But also building buildings on top of other buildings is a big part of this game too. A lot of the movement has to do with stairs and slides and launchers, all kinds of crazy concoctions and mechanisms to make this all work. But let's go ahead and auto-assign workers, and you'll see by default it went after the suitable guild association with Blaze here, member of the Miners Guild. So it does that first, and then assigns others, just because I've told them to be assigned. So this means that we have just the 1 whisker that currently doesn't have a job able to do construction. All the others are assigned to these mines. Quarter of the day has already passed. I'm hoping to establish housing as soon as possible. The tax collector arrives in 2 days, so we have a bit of time to collect what we need to pay off this initial debt. So why don't we go ahead and use the mine tool to extract some stone first, because what we're going to do is, let's say we're going to try and clear all this out. What we're going to do is build up some stone shelters. These are very low quality houses, but the alternative is to build log cabins. And as you can see, log cabins are relatively expensive, 5 logs to build 1, and they still only house 1 individual, whereas the stone shelter, 3 stone to build 1. They're a bit smaller as well. You can see a very small footprint over here compared to the log cabin. But again, they're a bit worse in terms of quality, but it's fine. It's fine. We'll clear some room out over here. And I'll want to make sure that we... Well, there's a couple things to do. Let's get these whiskers onto the island first. What have we got? Well, first of all, let's talk about approval. Approval is something we gain by doing well and by making our whiskers happy with us. This is the whiskers approval. This is not the clauses approval. They're 2 distinct resources and things to consider. Approval is used for activating policies and stuff like that. That'll be available in the full game, but the most baseline use of approval is to acquire more whiskers. So we have 25 approval right now, which means we can only get so many because of the varying cost over here. We don't have a monarchist here, so I can't show you an example of how they are in fact cheaper, but well, they are. Who do we want here? Ember is healthy, I guess, hence slightly more expensive. Waffles, no traits, but has that carry cap of 4, which can make a significant difference. And strong shoulders. Wow, you're weak without those strong shoulders, I guess. Another Miners Guild member is not a bad idea either. Let's get you in there. And again, mining is so important. Loner, unhappy if working with others, so I'm going to avoid that if I can. Strong shoulders, sure. Ember here, unavailable because of the cost. So Flint, let's get you on here as well. Slightly higher move speed at least. Sure. The other two we can refuse, or we can keep this ship docked here until it decides to leave of its own volition. That gets us 8 whiskers, which means we need 8 houses. And I'm thinking, where do I want our housing to be? Because these whiskers have to travel from their homes to where they work, so you don't want to be too far away. Like, you don't want one thing to be too far away from the other. We could put housing right down over here, right next to the warehouse, and this could just be kind of temporary placeholder, I suppose. Let's pop them down here. And eventually, as we dig into the mountain here, we'll kind of expand backwards, I suppose. Could do this kind of a thing. Now let's do this. And we need how many? 8, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's go ahead and, whoops, went the wrong way there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get ourselves some steep stairs. They're very slow to walk on, these steep stairs, but it's all we have available. And let's get this makeshift path up over here as well. Not enough resources. I'm out of logs. Very well. Let's go ahead and acquire more logs. Not enough for the woodcutter either. Fair enough. Fair enough. Will that actually... No, yeah, okay, that didn't actually consume any logs until they get delivered. So let's remove some of this pathing, I suppose. Reacquire some of the logs. Building bridges costs more than just building on flat land. So I should hopefully be able to... Let's just do this for now. Let's just do this for now, and hopefully... Huh. Okay, fair enough. Some people are going to have no houses tonight. That's okay. That's okay. Get the woodcutter set up over here. And that's a high priority construction. Alright. And then we'll be able to afford everything that I'm hoping to afford. I'm just going to get rid of these for now. And keep an eye on that. So you'll see Buddy over here went to the warehouse, picked up the logs, and is now going to drop said logs off at the woodcutter and start building. Because he is one of the unemployed construction worker whiskers. We've got our new ones coming through as well. We've got, I think, enough time in the day to at least get some wood cutting going and maybe get some of these built as well. Can't find materials because we're, you know, without stones. But as you can see, these guys are mining away quite quickly as well. And as they do so, they clear this land out as well. They're actually terraforming this island as they acquire these resources. But let's go ahead and make sure we've got some of our woodcutters working right away. This shouldn't be too much travel time, I suspect. And then we'll be able to, yeah, build the paths more like how I was hoping to, and get some of the next level buildings going as well. And again, this is all a little placeholder, I suppose. We'll build nicer housing when the opportunity presents itself down the line. We'll also need to ensure that we get some foraging huts going. I'll probably want to build that soon as well. How much does that cost again? Foraging huts. Forage huts, sorry. 3 logs as well. Cool, we're working on it. We have some food for the time being. We have all this hard tack. Enough for a population for, what, 2 days? The 3rd day, some people would go hungry, so we'll get the foraging started tomorrow, and as that's happening, we'll get to mining some of the copper ore as well. But I should go back to this underground riches quest, because we have, in fact, completed it, which will give us 1 more whisker. I should have been cognizant of that as I accepted this this group. Who do we have here? Scrabble of the Engineers Guild. High work speed, that's good. Fair enough. He's an all-right whisker. Engineers Guild, eh? It's the Explorers Guild that's best at cutting logs. And if I actually go and find you, you'll see that this modifier is applied. Guild specialty. Whisker is working a job that matches their guild specialty, which actually increases their work speed significantly. And that's why assigning people appropriately is quite important, actually. All right, some initial housing is being built up, which is good. Good stuff. These guys are mining away pretty quickly, actually. This is good. Speed time up just ever so slightly. Even if a couple of people end up with homes tonight, I'll be happy. And this, again, is sort of what I mean in terms of what the game tries to pressure you to do, right? The game's like, hey, taxes are coming. Go get some copper ore. But if you do that, then you're not going to be able to build housing quickly. So, and that's intentional, right? From the settings perspective, the game's like, yeah, the cats don't really care about your well-being. They care about the resources you're meant to extract. You, as the acting tail, have to find that sweet, sweet balance. Night is almost here. Oh, we might actually be able to finish more than I'd anticipated. Now I can get these stairs set up, and I can get the makeshift path up here. And we can start at least planning these stone shelters as well. The other option is, I don't do that and I just pop these down over here. Because we've actually made more progress than I expected, but no, I like the 2-tier housing. Yeah. Wow, okay, you know what? I really wasn't expecting that we'd even finish those 4, but that's cool, I'll take it. Now we have one more whisker than we will end up with housing for. I'll need to build a 9th house. And maybe I do kind of back-to-back housing over here, and everything higher than this is like log cabins or something. The fancy upper levels of our growing hive city. Still chipping away, still chipping away. And then tomorrow we'll start working on the copper ore. Trying to figure out where and how I would like to give my whiskers access to this next level. And night has come. So all the work stops and everyone tries to find some food. So they'll come over here and they'll start consuming the hard tack. We'll see them eating away. That will have an impact on their productivity, as you can see. +10. And I believe it lasts... I forget how long it lasts, actually, this modifier. But different foods have different impacts. And again, we're talking about gathering berries soon. We're also going to be able to get fish down the line as well, once we have enough resources to do so. And this whisker ship hasn't left yet, but I think it's about to. That's why we've got this pause. Yeah, let's simply refuse these. We won't be able to acquire approval. That happens overnight, but honestly, with the number of people that are going to be sleeping out in the open, I don't think we'll acquire much approval, if any. Let's speed time up ever so slightly and figure out, yeah, where do I want to put the forager hut? I want some berries up over here. I don't want to... Be careful about... Okay. I wanted to see fertility over here, so... We could plant berries over here, which is good. Okay. We'll obviously acquire these berries because they're naturally growing, but I also wanted to plan for the future and make sure that I didn't build or terraform somewhere that actually is valuable. So we'll be able to grow berries over here, I think. Need planks to build the farm, though, so that'll take a bit of time to get to. That'll take a bit of time to get to. All right. We'll get some stairs set up. Actually, we don't even need stairs because our excavations here have left these ladders behind. I can get rid of them with the bulldoze tool. I can get rid of them, but we'll use those for the time being. So instead, let's just plan to have the forage hut established here. Sure, why not? They'll work on that in the morning. But yeah, we've got some folks just passing out on the streets. Speed time up and see the outcome here. Day 1 has ended, and I'm very curious to see how many days I can last before we are unable to pay taxes and before they revoke our charter. Because some of the, again, more advanced structures are not available in this build, so I am very curious to see how far we can push before trouble comes knocking. Folks, my plan is to have maybe a couple episodes of Whiskerwood on the channel with this build, and then when the game's closer to launch, have some more episodes and kick off maybe a playthrough and stuff as well. But if you would like to see more episodes, the best way to make sure that happens is by leaving a like and a comment down below. So if you are enjoying the game, you would like to see how this progresses and how it actually plays in sort of some of the later days and all that, don't hesitate to let me know. Hit that like button, leave a comment down below. It does make a big impact on how I approach things on the channel. Now, as we end day 1, we actually gained quite a bit of approval. That's good. You'll see, though, slept outside was a huge negative. So that's -8 times 5 whiskers who slept outside, so -40. counteracted, thankfully, by the fact that we are, freshly arrived at these new lands, and that's giving us a lot of hope and a bit of a boost for the initial hardships. But yes, with that all said and done, we have our upcoming taxes. Nothing's changed there. Everything's looking good. Start day 2. All right, slow time down again. Everyone's going to slowly wake up. Now, if anyone was unable to grab food the night before, that will reflect in the approval ratings and things like that. But they will also try and find time to get food the following day, and taking time away from the workday as a result. Oh, we've got a message from one of our Whiskers now. Dear Tail, our stores are meager. We cannot rely on these rations holding beyond 2 days. Our colony ship contained ample materials to build those royal design dock and warehouse buildings, yet mere scraps for our personal needs. We must find a source of food to survive and somehow pay off the upcoming tax ship. From a fellow colonist. So, objective is to build a forage hut. Oh, I guess I was getting ahead of myself here. Sounds good. The reward will be 13 logs. That ain't bad. So yes, I will accept the quest. And let's get this forage hut set up as a high priority. Yeah, sure. The fresh arrival is a really good buff, but hunger, you can't buff out of hunger. Hunger will kill Whiskers. So let's get to work on that. The guys are working away. Lots of coal here, actually, so we can do some mining there as well. And yeah, once this forage hut is done, there'll be some berries to pick over here. Some more up over here as well, but I think by that point in time... Actually, you know what? I think I'll need to... Yeah, we're going to have to ensure we can get up here to pick these berries as well. Getting to planks will take a bit longer, I think. Now, a supply ship has arrived, and this makes things interesting as well. So, we have a choice. Do we want a small shipment of goods? Do we want a middling shipment of goods? Down the line, we can get larger shipments as well, or we can simply refuse supplies. That will impact the claw's trust in us, and if trust goes down to 0, we get a warning, and then if we aren't able to, pay taxes once, for example, that's it. That's the charter revoked. So, you'll sometimes want to refuse supplies, but you'll want to be careful. Now, you might be thinking, well, why would I refuse supplies? Or maybe you figured it out already. But yes, every time you accept supplies, you add to your debts. So if I just want, some more hardtack and some tea to just keep us going for a bit longer, that's 43 extra that I owe. If I need some logs, if I want some planks, oh, you know what? That's actually not a bad idea. Because then we could get the farm going nice and early. But that does mean that we're going to owe 103 more in tax. I think it's worth it, though. Because then we can get the farm going and we don't have to worry about all those stairs up to get all those berries. And maybe I'm overvaluing this farm, but why not? Let's get it going during the summer months, because once winter hits, well, we'll be in trouble. So sure, let's go with this, add to our debts, unload the shipment. And now we owe 201. Again, it looks like we have enough already, but most of that is in the form of logs, which we do not want to give up if we can help it. Let's go ahead and assign some foragers here. And let's go ahead and get some more mining going. Put the copper ore here. Copper ore here. Some copper ore there as well. Oh yeah, there's some there too. And as we dig deeper and deeper in, we'll see what else there is further in the mountain, like I alluded to earlier when we were trying to pick an island. So let's see. Hopefully this will be enough to at least take care of the upcoming taxes. But hopefully there's more. You can see, for example, there's some copper ore there. So that's good. But again, we might need to... Oh, is this gold? Yeah, some gold over here. Okay, good stuff. Gold is valuable. But yeah, we might need to start mining all the way over here, and that's quite the haul that we have to make. But bring enough Whiskers over, we'll be able to staff smaller warehouses, and then it'll be their job specifically to bring goods from there down to here. And again, down the line, eventually, there are... I forget exactly where... no, that's all the water-related stuff, temperature-related stuff. Where are my... There we go, under storage and belts. That would make sense. So we've got the storage shed. There's a small warehouse, medium warehouse, input adder, flat belt, uplift stairs, and down drop slide. These are all the various things that are used to automate the movement of resources under the conveyor belt schematics. But we will not have access to those, which will make this a bit more challenging than the full game, because yeah, some of these travel times will be on the higher end, and I'm curious to again see just how far we can push. By the way, you can see how these ladders are being used to grab these berries from up top over here. Feeling pretty good so far though. These trees have been pushed back. Well, let's not dally actually. Let's go ahead and establish that farm I keep talking about. First of all, let's see. Berries. Do something like this, perhaps. This seems reasonable. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Bit of flax potential over here. Flax is a good resource to sell to the claws, or to give to the claws. We're not really selling. Cotton is excellent, but cotton is very hard to grow. Looks like at some of these heights we'll be able to grow cotton a bit better, so that's good to keep in mind. But let's sure put down the farmland, but also put down the farm itself. It's got a bit of a funny shape, doesn't it? Sure, let's do that. Aesthetics. Don't know how much I should be prioritizing aesthetics, but here we are. Sure. To grow berries, and fertility and stuff like that does actually change over time. The nutrients in the soil will fluctuate. You can use fertilizer to replenish nutrients. You can leave land fallow. Oh. Night fell before he could deliver those goods, so he's like, nah, that's the yabba dabba do. I'm going home. So we'll have to wait a little bit longer for this farm to be completed. But things are looking all right overall. Everyone's got some food to eat. We're looking okay on that front. Let's go ahead and complete this quest so we can get those logs as well. And yeah, feeling pretty good so far. Feeling pretty good so far. We are still one whisker without a home. So let's go ahead and make sure we don't forget to sort that out tomorrow morning. Get your cabin set up over here. And you can, by the way, I should mention, assign specific houses and specific workplaces as well. So if you want to get specific and make sure that people are actually, working close to where they live, and so on and so forth, you can do that. I'm letting, the game kind of take the wheel a bit over here, but if you want to get that specific, you absolutely can. Now, down the line, eventually, we will want to get the cafe set up, because... well, you'll see in the approval screen, people don't like eating at the warehouse. They would rather eat at a cafe, so we'll want to get that set up. We're also going to need a bathing dock, because the whiskers will get dirty over time, and they start to get upset if they're getting filthy. So we're going to have to set some of these things up, and again, these are activities that happen at night. You don't get to bathe during your work shift, so wait until the sun sets and take care of some of these needs. But that's day 2 ended. Let's take a look at our results here. Overall, we're doing good. We've maxed out our approval. And that sounds, that's great. That's fantastic. It's not so easy to keep it like that. Ooh, rooting counter. I don't think I've seen this in my time playing so far. I don't think I have. So it must be one of our rough around the edges whiskers getting on someone's not so good side. But overall, things are looking okay. 8 at a warehouse. That was the negative I was talking about. It's not the most significant negative, but as the population grows, it becomes more and more of a problem. And at least one person isn't happy about doing hard labor. Well, tough is kind of what you signed up for, unfortunately. Fair enough. Tax collector arrives tomorrow and is expecting 201 gold monies. Let's start the new day. All right. So let's just make sure we have enough copper ore here. 84 in copper ore. Everything else is in logs. So the answer is no, we don't have enough copper ore. Some of it is still being stored in the mining camps. They will get carried over. If I can select you. Yeah, you can see carry. This is where carry capacity becomes important. Like, this person is able to carry 4 copper ore at a time, as opposed to others who can only carry 3 or 2. And that will impact the rate of, for example, construction. Like, if he needed to carry 4 logs to a construction site but could only carry 3, obviously that's 2 round trips as opposed to 1, right? Little things like that. Sorry, stating the obvious there for a moment. I apologize. All right, keep digging away at the copper. There's some more copper down here. That's good. Let's go ahead and target that for mining nice and early. And keep at it. Nice and simple. We'll get the farm built shortly. There's the planks coming through. And we'll get a couple people assigned over here. When is... Okay, so the whisker ship will arrive after the tax collector has departed. And here comes the tax collector. Right on cue. Here's what we can do, though. We can run this timer down before paying taxes. That gives us a bit more time to actually stockpile some of the copper ore to ensure that we're not digging into our, berries or logs to make the payment happen. But yes, that is delaying the arrival of this Whisker ship because the dock is currently occupied. And the longer it takes the Whisker ship to arrive, the more slowly we accomplish any of our other tasks, right? So, important to pick and choose if we're rushing or delaying. What I could do is... Let's give it some time, because I want to build some of these houses out. I guess this farm is being done right now. I want to make sure we have some whiskers to work the farm ASAP. I'd like to not have my whiskers suffering by sleeping outdoors, but truth be told, I could take that hit. And in fact, it's probably worthwhile, because it would accelerate the rate at which we actually build the houses, and the next thing you know, we're, by taking on the risk, we've actually accomplished the task better than we would have otherwise. But I do still want to pay my tax with only copper ore. Do we have enough? Yes, but let's get into some details here. When it comes to paying our taxes, there is the bare minimum amount, which is all the way up to here. If we have a partial shipment, we will lose some trust. And again, if trust hits 0, we get the warning. If we are unable to make another payment, then we are, our charter is revoked. But even making a partial payment gives us a royal wax seal, which we can use for like re-rolls and things like that. You may have seen that in places. We'll see it when the Whisker ship comes through. That's a partial shipment. I could go a little bit further. And again, I could just hit 75% of my shipment by mixing and matching the various resources. And that has, less of a negative impact. But we are actually, I think, able to make a full 100% shipment. Let's not pointlessly go overboard, though, so we will give up some logs to kind of min-max our resource provision to the clause here. And this will give us +1 trust, +2 royal wax seals, and a choice of a reward. If we overpay our taxes, we'll get even more benefits and a higher variety of choice of rewards. And if we just go all out, we'll get significant benefits to trust and seals, but also a larger choice of rewards, and sometimes more important rewards like medicine. Or you'll see here in this first tier, machinery is not likely to come through as a potential reward, a gift of thanks, if you will. Whereas at the higher level it is, and machinery is very important for higher level factories and even some low level things. For example, the for fishing you need machinery, and if the machinery wears out, because durability is a thing in this game, you're going to be less productive. So you'll sometimes want to overpay your taxes to gain access to some of these valuable resources. But for the time being, let's keep it simple. Let's just send a regular full shipment, and the tax collector can be on his way. Clause delegation will speak to you soon. Fair enough. Let's turn our attention once more, I think, to the stone, because we have some time for before the next arrival. Oh, future taxes. You have met your first tax payment. Well done. We shall expect to see increased output from your colony going forward. Of course you shall. And we've got high approval as well. So we've generated a high amount of approval from our whiskers. Building a town hall will allow us to spend excess approval on powerful policies. Unfortunately, policies are not... I haven't memorized where everything is, as you can tell. Policies are not available in this build. But I've got the clause here with a gift for me. So I can get some old charcoal, I can get some spare scrap, or I can get some wind chimes. Wind chimes add to beauty, enjoyed by passing whiskers, and it can help with approval, but it does cost a plank to build. I don't think we're in that position just quite yet to need these wind chimes, so we'll just get some spare scrap because the planks could be quite useful. Cut stone will be valuable down the line too, but the planks I think are more valuable right now. Fuel can wait. So sure, spare scrap it shall be. And again, here are the royal wax seals. We can re-roll these rewards to see if maybe we get something a bit more valuable for the situation we're in right now. But yes, spare scrap it shall be. And what was I doing? Right, I was trying to find... There we go, town hall and civic office. So these are not available in this version of the game, but they will give us some powerful options to use our approval on. Now, it's almost nighttime, actually. It took longer to explain taxes than I expected. I should have paused, I guess, before we went in on that. So, fair enough. We'll wait until tomorrow morning to accept these whiskers. so that they'll actually have a chance in completing some of the housing I have planned. We'll go ahead and lay out those plans, actually. So I'll pop you down here, here, and here. And let's also get the makeshift path established here. There we go. For that extra bit. No resource in range. Yeah, we gotta get some of these stairs down now. Let's see. Gotta get all the way up to there. There's also this spot over here. Okay, let's see if we can't get up to there. Yeah, we got enough logs, I think. You know, I'm gonna wait until morning so I can see more clearly. Okay, these guys are all gonna come through. They're gonna grab their food. I think we're still decently supplied. Yeah, we'll be fine in terms of food. Now, it is worth noting, raw food, cooked food are different. And in fact, if we just highlight the warehouse momentarily... Oh, until I build a second warehouse, I can't show you the huge variety of goods that are available in the game. Could I... maybe... I mean, you can see some of it over here. I'm not going to go through the tech tree, but you can see like there are a lot of very advanced resources and goods that come with this game. You know, for example, okay, here's the bakery to make jam pastries. That is obviously a higher tier of food and a higher quality of food, which make people happier than, you know, hardtack. So that's a consideration. For example, fish skewers made at the smokery, but there's also other stuff in the tech tree, obviously. Frigates and cannons and rail. There's the railroad, because of course, there is with industrialization. I'm gonna leave the farm unassigned for the time being. We'll wait until some of these other additional whiskers get brought on board. Speed time up. Poor guy. Do you not have a home? You do have a home. Go home. Go. Just a night owl? Just don't want to go to bed? Go. I guess I just want to go to bed. Fair enough. I understand. Been there. Beautiful. Taking in the beautiful ocean views. Massive ocean views. Alright, speed time up. Let's get tonight. Oh, he did in fact go to bed. Fair enough. Day 3 is ended, and I think we're still looking pretty good over here. Yeah, we're maxed out on approval. This number does, the max cap does grow as your colony grows as well. The root encounters continue to cause issues, and there's that dirty fur kicking in as well. We'll give it some more time, but eventually it will become a problem. Upcoming taxes 155, due in 2 days. We'll be okay. Famous last words, right? Day 4 has begun. Let's go ahead and bring these whiskers on board immediately. We've got a warm core. Heavy eater is a bit of a problem. Eats one more food per meal, but I think we'll be able to overcome that. That's fine, because I like warm core. I like that higher carry cap. Strong shoulders. Masochist is happy to perform hard labor. Masochist might sound like a bad thing. It's actually a good thing in the context of this game, so we'll take you on as well. Sickly. I don't like sickly. I worry about that. So we'll go ahead and get Lurry. A higher work speed is nice. And Flick. I mean, sure, we need farmers, I suppose. Oh, right, and you'll see things like greatly dislikes raw food, preferred food, jam pastries, and bread. And so these all also affect approval ratings and things like that. So lots of fun little details for each of our whisker friends here. Let's bring you on board. And Dusty, sorry, buddy, you're a little too dusty for us. I don't love sickly. Let's turn you away. Oh, just missed a quest assignment over here, but we can reread it. Dear Acting Tale, there have been reports of pirate ransom demands in your part of the world. Under no circumstances are you to yield or to even consider paying their exaction. Should your colony survive, report back the pirates' shakedown tactics. So our objective is to refuse pirate demands, and our reward is actually 3 machinery, which is a very big deal, because it makes a huge difference as you get further and further along. Eventually, in like the late-ish game, you're able to build machinery of your own, is my understanding, based on like the tech tree and stuff. Mid-ish, mid-game, let's call it. But until you get there, you still need machinery for various things. So I will accept this quest and wait for the pirates to show up. We've got a supply ship right now. The pirates will come through, in 2 days. We've got some time, fair enough. But the supply ship brings us what? Also some machinery and stuff, some hardtack, some tea, or we can go with a more expensive option. I think let's keep it simple over here. We're doing okay for the time being. So just the regular shipment here, unload that, and I think we'll be fine. Houses have not all been built. Right. Okay, hang on. We're being highly inefficient right now. The talking is obviously slowing me down. It's not like I'm just playing, I'm also recording, so I am being a bit inefficient here. We're going to get these two assigned over here so they can start taking care of the land here. We can get some berries right down over here, but we're not just going to give up on these resources. We're going to go ahead and forage them as well. So like I said, let's see if we can't get up there. So, whoops. I always press the wrong button first. Get you like that. Get you. Hopefully that's in range. If I need to, I can move the hut as well. These like forager's hut and the miner's camp and stuff, they can be moved easily. They don't have to be unbuilt and rebuilt. But hopefully this is close enough. Might not be. That's okay. Go ahead and move you, like I said. Oh, no, okay. It was. Just took a second to detect. So, a few more berry bushes up over here, and then it's much easier to get to these higher ones. I will, though, make sure that we're not gathering flax. I just want berries right now. Flax, again, good resource for trade, but we don't need it so urgently. I say trade. I mean to pay off my taxes. And they arrive tomorrow. Oh, we're covered. We have enough copper ore already. But there's no reason to stop mining. Keep getting stone, and tomorrow perhaps we'll work on some more copper ore as well. We've got these guys farming over here as well. Now, farming is a time-consuming endeavor. As you can see, they slowly go and take care of the land, and then they slowly, go and plant the seed, and then when that seed grows, which takes time, they have to harvest it as well, one by one. And you'll see over here, the weather right now, clear skies, means increased crop growth speed. That's not going to stay forever, but we can take advantage of it while it does, of course. Summer will last another 5 nights, and then we'll shift over to the next season. That'll come with its own risks, and eventually we're going to hit winter. And even before we hit winter, actually, we're going to have to get some campfires going. And while this is a nice heat source, it also causes pollution, and it has a limited lifespan because it's a fire, and the logs eventually burn out. Further down the line, you will gain access to additional sources of heat. You'll be able to shift water around and stuff as well. So all kinds of powerful options over here, but for the time being, we only have access to the campfire. All right. We're looking pretty good, actually. Looking pretty good. I'm trying to figure out what I want to pursue next. Get the fishing dock up and running, perhaps. Does take a machinery. But first, let's get this housing up over here. And I was going to actually rejig our setup here a bit. Trying to figure out how I want the next layer of housing over here set up. Like, that part is a given, sure, but how do we actually get people up there? Do I want this to be one ring around this top level, or do I have 2 separate, straight paths? Simplest would be something like this. I could do... trying to find like the best spot for some of these things. Down like that. Do that kind of a thing? Is that the most efficient? I don't know. But it's what we're going to do. Again, travel time from workplace to food place to resting place is a serious consideration. And what we might actually do is maybe build the cafe on top of all these homes. Don't know if that's the best call. Might just put it down here instead. That's what I was originally thinking. Put the cafe out here so they're able to eat relatively easily. I mean, we'll maybe make a small storage spot over here for the berries from the farm and the forager so that it's more easy to stock the cafe up there. And then I figure we could get the bathing dock somewhere down over here. Requires more solid ground than I was hoping. We could do something like this, and then the fishing dock also requires more solid ground than I was hoping. I would like to have the fishing dock close to the cafe and the storage, the food storage, for obvious reasons, I guess. Shorter travel distance, right? Create a nice little block, little unit over here, I suppose. So one person is going to be without a home because I was a little too slow to get this set up. That's entirely on me. But we're okay. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. These are looking good, yeah. Okay. Yeah, we got plenty to pay off our debts right now. We'll be okay. Oh, this is our... I was like, you're just going to hang out again, buddy? Nope, nope. This is the one that doesn't have a bed. Constantly seeing root encounters. It's such a shame. Such a shame. But onwards and upwards, or downwards as the case might be for this guy. Oh, he tosses and turns in his sleep. That's the end of this day. So you can see our max now is a lot higher. Overall doing okay still. Fresh arrival is going to wear off soon, and that's going to be a bit of a dent. But tax collector arrives tomorrow, expecting 243, and we're okay on that front. Looks like we're a little low on food as well. We have 11 food, but 13 whiskers, so that math ain't mathin', but we should be fine. Pick up a few more berries during the course of the day and we'll be okay. Let's continue to mine on this copper ore. That is the thing, right? Like I would, like I said, I would like to put the cafe down over here. How do I cover up the gash of the dugout copper, though? Or do I just leave it be, you know? Well, you know, what I could do is I could go a layer down, dig over, and then come back up. Oh, there's more copper further down, actually. So we'll just keep digging down. This will be like a deep shaft, I suppose. Farming continues. Okay, looking good. And we should probably actually get another farm set up over here. Where's my... If possible, to get trees? No, it's not. Not surprised. Alright, we'll have to get up to the next level, and then we'll make a little tree farm up there. Let's go ahead and place some steep stairs over here, because it might be faster to just go up there and cut these trees down. Let's get a makeshift path. Eventually, we're going to replace these makeshift paths with plank paths, because they are more cost-effective. One log becomes like 3 planks or something like that. Let's see, the sawmill. One log becomes 5 planks. So whereas one log places 1 makeshift path, 1 log turned into planks places 5 plank paths. So we will very much be doing that. And actually, I just realized we gotta have some workplace safety over here. Get some of these railings up. There you go. There you go. Nice and safe. And why not some visibility at night as well. There you go. little gateway of lanterns. But yes, the tax collector is here. Back to business, back to business. Again, I could just do a regular full shipment. Would I like some bread? Some of my whiskers do prefer eating bread. But let's not overdo it. Just a couple of logs to take us to that 100%. And that should be alright. There's that full shipment. And I believe we're expecting pirates to come through tomorrow. More whiskers today, though. Do we have extra housing? I think so, right? Yeah, we have 3 extra homes. I'm actually quite pleased with how this space looks. Oh, hey, look at that. Ooh, rude, this guy, yeah. Chance to make passing whiskers unhappy. Scrabble, why you like this? Also, yes, you can absolutely rename your whiskers, in case you were wondering. On the topic of which, new whiskers have arrived. Who do we have? Dash, strong shoulders, and can't smell. That's valuable. Immediate, yes. Strong shoulders and swift, also valuable. Carry caps of 5. Not bad, not bad. Okay, unsafe worker. We just put up the railings too. Wears out industrial machinery faster, so don't really want that. Rust with the warm core is okay. Not great, but is okay. Sure, let's bring you over. Yeah, Sable, unsafe worker and a heavy eater, just not a good pick. And Blaze is a loner, unhappy if working or sleeping with others. There are some jobs that you can do solo, like warehouse workers, for example. So not a terrible pick, but we've got our 3 for the 3 homes that we have. Let's leave it at that, and let's not have more homeless whiskers tonight. Claw's visage. Intimidating visage of a claw. Intimidates passing whiskers. I don't know if I really want that. I believe intimidation like boosts productivity or something, but now we're good. Discovered stowaways. I could just gain a whisker, or we'll get some hard tack. It does help with approval. I love how it's just dry, tasteless, hard tack. Will keep you alive, but, you know, +5 approval. I guess food is food. I could take a chance and reroll here, see if we get something better. More planks and cut stone. One more. Damn. Planks and cut stone it is. It's okay. We're doing all right. I'm not too fussed about losing the little seals there. Farm continues to grow, looking good. Oh, we do have some light showers. Exposed water tanks gain water. So we, again, will down the line have access to entire, you know, water systems. And the water tanks can be filled in a few different ways, including, you know, pumping and stuff like that. But also rain, because if you've got an open top and it's raining, then why not do some rainwater harvesting, right? Nice little touch there. We have a lot of unemployed whiskers right now. So let's give them some tasks, I think. First, yes, let's get a cafe going. I suppose we could do this over here. We'll mine this out eventually. Let's actually get that tasked right now. And then we'll like put a plank pathway or something down over it. Can't find... Oh, we need planks. Oh, okay. Wow. All right. Pause that. Actually, just bulldoze it entirely. And focus on getting the sawmill up and running first. Probably makes most sense to do it somewhere over here, considering this is where the, you know, all the storage is. And you'll see, by the way, if I put it on solid land, it costs 21 logs and 1 machinery. If I start building supports over the water, it costs more and more logs to actually establish however much of that support structure I need. And the same applies for just lifted construction. The higher I want to go, the more logs it'll cost me to actually build the supporting structures. But enough about that. I wonder if we set you up over here, and then we have some storage in the area to stockpile the logs and the planks. That should do the trick. But any construction that happens over there, they have to haul quite a distance. I think that'll be okay. Eventually there's going to be some hauling required, right? So I think that's probably okay. And this is nicely tucked away in the corner. Yeah, I like it. Let's get that task set up for tomorrow morning. That'll allow us to build the planks. The planks will then allow us to build the cafe. And then... yeah. It'll also allow us to build a bathing dock. We have enough for the bathing dock, actually, but I'm in a rush for that. And then we'll eventually get the fishing dock going as well. All right, very well. Looks like a good night's rest ahead for us. Let me just take a quick look at the situation down here. There's just some copper ore down here so we can keep going a little bit. Copper ore over here. Trying to see what else we've discovered, basically. There's a bit of gold here. Decent bit of gold here, actually. There might be a larger pocket of gold. It looks like there was a vein there. Cool. I think we ended up picking a good spot for establishing our foundations, as it were. All right. Let's take us to the next day here and see what things look like right now. I'll be happy to get the sawmill up and running. That'll be nice. Provides a bit of employment. gives us some access to some more advanced capabilities and options. But yep, let's end day 5. Approval is just shy of being maxed out, so you see, it's not like, oh yeah, we're just constantly maxing out. There are issues that arise over time. Drab surroundings starting to become a bit of a problem. Hasn't seen a hint of beauty in a while. Dirty fur is becoming more and more of a problem. Okay, might actually need the bathhouse sooner. Hungry. I didn't realize there were people going hungry. I thought we had more than enough food. Anyway, we're still doing okay. We're still doing okay. Tax collector comes in 2 days. But as we start the new day, folks, I think day 5 ending and day 6 beginning is a wonderful spot for us to end this session. Went a little bit over the usual hour mark I try to hit with these, but hopefully you don't mind too much, and hopefully you had a good time watching Whiskerwood in action. We'll wait for the sun to rise and call it there. So some of these hungry whiskers are going to go get some food to start their days off, and then we'll get this construction done on the sawmill and continue to see, hopefully, progress. Again, folks, if you do want to see more Whiskerwood on the channel, the best way to let me know is by leaving a like and a comment down below. But more important than that, perhaps I would say, is that if you enjoyed what you saw, then please don't hesitate to go and wishlist the game on Steam. Like I said at the beginning of this video, that's one of the best ways to support indie developers especially. Not only does it have a direct impact on the visibility of the game just because of how Steam works, but I'm sure it's also a great motivator to just see wishlists spike and stuff like that. So if you like what you see, hit that wishlist button. I'll have the store page linked in the description down below. And if you want to see more of it on the channel, again, like I said, your opinion makes a big difference on that front. Very pleased with where we've ended up today, though, and very excited to see, exactly how many days we can actually survive as our taxes do go higher and higher and higher. There's only so many resources available to us, and with some of the later game tools inaccessible, it'll only add to the challenge. Folks, if you had a good time, let me know. But as always, a massive thanks goes out to all of the channel members and patrons who've been supporting the channel on a monthly basis. Y'all keep us alive and running smoothly. And of course, a big old thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, cheers.